It seems like the people that make the food decide they got to put something a little extra on the food, right? A little extra on the food. And it always ends up being that thing that you can't have. So, yeah, you can't hear me. Am I muted? I shouldn't be muted. Hold on a second. Is that better? Mm. Hello, hello, hello. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Do I need to turn this up? Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, let me turn this up. Ooh, is that better? Is it still muffled? Good morning, Pamela. Good morning, Ladybug. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sally. I'm glad everything's working on the Facebook side too, because the other day it did not work. Now I can hear you all much better. I think I had to turn my volume up. Even though I'm not listening to nothing, I think I have to turn the volume up for you to hear me as well. But my voice is real wonky today, so I probably had to turn it up even more. I have sound on Facebook, but nothing on YouTube. Really? I tell Pamela I said hello. Marianne, Pamela, come on, mouth. Pamela, Marianne says hello. Yeah. So Marianne's on the YouTube side, and Pamela is on the Facebook side. Okay. So I'm going to turn my volume up a little bit more. I'm sorry for the little... There we go. It's almost as high as it can go. You're going to reload YouTube. Yeah, I don't know what's going on lately. Pamela says, hello, my beautiful friend. Hello, my beautiful friend. Yes. So if you're having problems, try to go out and come back in. That's the only thing I could tell you. On my side, it shows everything is good. And I can't see what's on your side, so you would have to go back out and come back in. And Rose says, good morning, booted chicas. Aw. Yeah, so. And again, I apologize. I'm all jacked up. It's food related. So face is puffy. It's starting to calm down a little bit. It's starting to calm down. But it was bad. It was real bad. My eyelids, they're still swollen. Those are my big eyes. Okay. Pralini says, good morning, everyone. All right, so we are on March 4th. March 4th. So if you missed yesterday, I let everybody know I am going to read the entire chapter that the devotion is pulled from, and then we'll do the devotional portion of it that will break down the portion that is being expounded upon. Okay? Because just that one portion, if you're not reading it further on your own, you're going to miss a lot of what the understanding that you should be getting out of it. Okay? So, because some people, this is new, and so this is a new developing a habit, and so reading the entire chapter might not be your habit yet. So I want to make sure that we're getting the information according to what we're reading, so that you can have a storyline of what's going on. And it's good to read anyway, right? It's good to read. Okay, I have sound on YouTube now. You sound better. Okay, so it could have just been a bad feed at the moment. Prolini says, good morning, Booty Chick. You are very welcome. You're very welcome. Good morning right back to you, Prolini. If I say weird stuff, it's just it's the brains. Pamela says, hello, Rose. Okay, I'm going to start reading. And Pamela, your comment is where I left off, so I'll remember. All right, so we're on chapter 15 in the book of Judges, and the title is Samson Defeats the Philistines. So now some of that story that I was telling you yesterday, you'll hear it. It says, after a while, in the time of wheat harvest, it happened that Samson visited his wife with a young goat. And he said, let me go in to my wife, into her room. But her father would not permit him to go in. Her father said, I really thought that you thoroughly hated her. Therefore, I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please take her instead. And Samson said to them, this time I shall be blameless regarding the Philistines, if I harm them. Then Samson went and caught 300 foxes, and he took torches, turned the foxes tail to tail, and put a torch between each pair of tails. When he had set the torches on fire, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines, and burned up the stalks and the standing grain, as well as the vineyards and the olive groves. Then the Philistines said, who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion. So the Philistines came up and buried her and her father with fire. Burned her. They came up and burned her and her father with fire. Samson said to them, Since you would do a thing like this, I will surely take revenge on you, and after I will cease. So he attacked them, hip and thigh, with a great slaughter. Then he went down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock of Etam. Now the Philistines went up, encamped in Judah, and deployed themselves against Lehi. And the men of Judah said, Why have you come up against us? So they answered, We have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went down to the cleft of the rock of Edom and said to Samson, "Do you not know that the Philistines rule over us? What is this that you have done to us?" And he said to them, "As they did to me, so I have done to them." But they said to him, "We have come down to arrest you, that we may deliver you into the hand of the Philistines." Then Samson said to them, "Swear to me that you will not kill me yourselves." So they spoke to him, saying, "No, but we will tie you securely and deliver you into their hand. But we will surely not kill you." And they bound him with 2 new ropes and brought him from the rock. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds broke loose from his hands. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, reached out his hand and took it, and killed 1,000 men with it. Then Samson said, "With the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps. With the jawbone of a donkey I slain 1,000 men." And so it was, when he had finished speaking, that he threw the jawbone from his hand, and called that place Ramah Lehi. Then he became very thirsty, so he cried out to the Lord and said, You have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant, and now shall I die of thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? So God split the hollow place that is in Lehi, and water came out, and he drank. And the spirit returned, and he revived. Therefore he called its name En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi to this day. And he judged Israel 23 years in the days of the Philistines. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. I remember reading the story of Samson, but I didn't remember about the foxes in the fields. I didn't remember that part. See how you get something new every time, right? You get something new every time. All right, so today it says it's coming from Judges 15, 14, and 15. So our devotional part is, when he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire, and his bonds broke loose from his hands. He found a fresh jawbone of a donkey, reached out his hand and took it, and killed 1,000 men with it. So it says, here's Samson, tied up by the men of Judah, turned over to the Philistines, when suddenly the Spirit of God comes upon him. He pops the ropes and starts swinging the jawbone of a donkey. When he's done, 1,000 Philistines lay dead. This cracks me up. I mean, the Philistines had the most advanced weapons system of their day. But in Judges 3, Shamgar killed 600 of them with an ox goad. And here, 12 chapters later, 1,000 more are beaten with the jawbone of a donkey. Later on, Goliath, the greatest Philistine of them all, will be beaten with a stone and a sling. Isn't that just like the Lord, to use the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, the weak to show up the strong? Look at us. We're ox goads, jawbones, and stones. We're perfect examples of the foolish things of the world, confounding the wise. 1 Corinthians 1:27. In your own personal battles, God can use whatever is in your hand. That's nothing the world will scoff at, but with the Spirit of God, it becomes something mighty. That was awesome encouragement, right? Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so today is March 4th. And March 4th is inspired by biology. March 4th is inspired by I said biology. You'd think I was trying to speak Spanish. Biology. And this one is bird migration. Oh, we're at the birds again. I always get excited for the birds. Okay. Bird migration is more complex than planning a family vacation. Birds start preparing themselves for fall migration as the amount of daylight shortens. They go into a feeding frenzy in order to gain as much weight as possible. I wish that worked for us. Sheesh. Then they begin to gather into groups, experiencing migratory restlessness. At just the right moment, all over the world, billions of birds take off on perilous migratory flights. How do they know their destinations? Scientists have shown that birds raised in captivity, completely separated from parents, still know when and where to migrate. It is actually programmed into their DNA. Scientists are discovering multiple migration mechanisms. Birds use landmarks such as rivers, mountains, and seashores. Some birds use the sun compass, which requires an internal clock. The sun's movements and the bird's internal clock allow them to calculate their direction. Many birds migrate primarily at night when there is less wind and fewer predators. These birds use a star compass. If the birds migrate beyond the equator into another hemisphere, they need to know the stars in the hemisphere as well. Wow. What if it's cloudy? Birds seem to have the ability to sense and navigate by Earth's magnetic field. Birds have been found to have small amounts of magnetic crystals in their heads. What? I.e., they have a built-in compass. Birds have been found to use polarized light, ultraviolet light, air pressure differences, odors, and low-frequency sounds made by the wind and the sea to aid their migration. Since more than one navigational method is required for successful migration, the problem for any evolutionary explanation is multiplied exponentially. Even one navigational method programmed into a bird's DNA is amazing, but God has provided multiple backup methods. This is testimony to a creator whose awesome power and intellect reveals that no detail is too small for his consideration. So here's your scripture. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. One way. One way. Okay. Really cool. Isn't it awesome? Like all the little details that you're going to learn while we go through this one of the different things in creation that you might have never even thought of. Like we just think it's instinct, right? It's just instinct. Birds are born with instinct. But how much more when you understand what mechanisms they have? Like what instinct is. Does that make sense? What instinct actually is. So again, good morning, good morning. Alrighty, I have Pamela was where I left off. Prolini says, good morning, everyone. Athena says, good morning. It's Employees Appreciation Day. Well, I would like to say a big thank you to anything that everybody puts their hands to. That is for somebody else because you need to be appreciated. So a big thank you today. Thank you, thank you. And I hope you have a beautiful day at work if you have to go to work today. It's okay, your voice is naturally. Aw, thank you, Rose. Yeah, it's very froggy. Perfect. Good morning, and good morning, Suzette. Welcome. Good morning. So if you are a boss, if you're a boss out there today, and you get to have the blessing of having employees that help you, don't forget to tell them thank you for the job that they do. Believe it or not, just the expression of thank you goes really far with people. That acknowledgement that you can see that they do a good job is huge. A lot of people think that it's the giving of money that gets your employees to do good work for you. And I will tell you, by telling your people thank you, especially every day, they go above and beyond for you. That show of gratitude, it just gives people motivation. So it's not always about money. It's a lot of times it's about just showing them that you see what they do, you're grateful and you appreciate them. That they're important, that they've contributed. And we as believers, the Lord calls us to that as well, that we are supposed to treat our help, because if they're your employee, they're your help. Or the people that come into your home to help you, you're supposed to treat them in such a way that others recognize it and be like, wow, they actually honor their people. They give them respect. They don't treat them like they're below them. Because in all actuality, we all get up, we all put our pants on the same way, one leg in at a time. We all got to brush our teeth. We all got to comb our hair. We all got to go use the restroom. We all are equal on that. So we should also express that same gratitude equally among one another. Stitchit says yes. Yes. I'm assuming you agree. So yeah. So people that help you out, I mean, give them that recognition. Acknowledge their help. It's big. It goes far. All right. Any comments? Did anybody here not get to hear their birthday out of the inspired evidence? Is there anybody here that didn't get to hear the devotion for their birthday? Because I think it's fun to look at the one for your birthday. If you didn't, just put your day and month in. So I'm not sure, Pamela, if we got to read yours, because I haven't seen you in a couple days. So I'm just offering, if you want to hear yours for that day, just put your day and your month, and then I can read your the devotion appropriated for your day, because they're really cool. They're all different. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. It's gonna be a day like that for me. My husband says, was I snoring? I said, no, it's food. He's off the hook. It's not him, it's food. Good morning, Anna. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, Miriam. May 28th. May 28th. We're going to do May 28th. And some of you have found, there's a few of you that have the same birthdays. Okay, so May 28th, Miriam. Here we go. Botany. Yours is inspired by botany. I love plants too. I love a lot of things, I think. I think I should say I enjoy a lot of things. Okay. It says, the pitcher plant is a carnivorous plant that traps its prey. The leaves form a deep cavity in which a liquid is at the bottom, like a pitcher of water. To catch bugs, sweet nectar is needed. Instead of mixing the sweet nectar with the water at the bottom of the pitcher, this plant drips it down the outside of the container. As unsuspecting ants walk up the plant, slurping the sweet nectar, unsuspecting ants walk up the plant slurping the sweet nectar. Then the ant arrives at the top of the pitcher, but it does not stop because the plant has nectar along the inside of the rim. It's almost like free candy. As it slurps up the sweet nectar under the rim, it moves farther into the plant until it arrives where the walls of the container are very slippery. Ants that can walk even upside down on a ceiling are helpless here. It's just too slippery, and so it slides down until its feet catch the stiff hairs of the plant. These hairs are pointed downward toward the pool, so that as the ant struggles to hold on, he steps closer and closer to the pool. These hairs signal the plant to get ready for dinner. Digestive juices start flowing. The inside of the pitcher plant becomes slippery as the ant struggles harder and harder. Finally, the ant loses the battle and falls into the pool of death and drowns. The digestive juices already in the water dissolve the ant and allow nutrients to be absorbed by the plant. This amazing mechanism is said to happen by accident and chance. How did the plant know it needed sweet nectar to attract the insects, and then to lure them by putting it on the outside of their inner rims? How did the plant know to point the hair downward and not upward? And how did it know to activate the digestive juices only when the hairs are stimulated and thereby not wasted the digestive juices? How did it know how to make digestive juices? Remember, this is a plant and not an animal. There are far too many features present to have evolved over eons for the pitcher plant to live. All these features needed to be present and fully functioning for the moment the pitcher plant was designed. This mechanism for survival was needed only after sin entered the world. God knew what the pitcher plant needed and designed it to survive. Here's your scripture. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. Psalm 24:1. I like that scripture. Where'd my bookmark go? So that's yours, Miriam. Can I hear mine again? June 18th. Yes. June 18th. Okay, June 18th was about cosmology. Did we read yours? Did we? I don't remember reading this. Hold on a second. Where'd we go? I don't remember reading yours, Stitch It. Oh, wait, yes, I do. It was about the moon. It was about the moon. Okay, so I'm going to read about the moon again. Yeah, I do read. I just read something. I was like, oh, wait, yes, I do read. I remember the moon. Perlini says, good morning, Stitch It. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Booted. Happy Friday. Thank you, Love Hollis. Welcome, welcome, and good morning. Would you read mine June 21st? Okay, I'm going to highlight you because I'm going to read it next. So June 18th is, think about the many functions of our moon. A night light. In northern countries, a full moon closest to September 22nd is called the harvest moon. This occurs when many crops are being harvested. It gives farmers lots of extra light to bring in their crops. It's a calendar. We get our name month from moon. During the month, our moon goes through its phases to document the change of days. The moon controls our seasons. The moon stabilizes the tilt of the earth. Without it, the earth would swing from 0 to 90 degrees and our seasons would be unpredictable. The moon is a protective shield. The moon prevents many collisions of space rocks into Earth. Instead, the rocks are drawn into the moon. The far side of the moon is heavily cratered from these incoming objects. The moon keeps the oceans healthy. Each day, tides are created by the gravitational pull of the moon. From 30 to 50% of our oxygen is provided by sea plankton. If there were no tides, then there would be a greatly reduced marine plants due to oxygen water becoming stagnant and overheated, reducing the oxygen supply upon the earth. We must have at least 18% oxygen in the air to survive. The level is currently a perfect 21%. In a way, the moon helps provide our oxygen. Our moon was designed for a purpose. The name of that designer is Jesus. And your scriptures, Isaiah 51:16, I who set the heavens in place, who laid the foundations of the earth. I love this. I love this stuff, guys. Okay, June 22nd. It's my son's birthday. Is also June 22nd, says Rachel. Aww, we got two sharing the same birthday. Okay, so this is for you guys. June 22nd. June 22nd is inspired by paleontology. Paleontology, and you have a picture. You have a picture. Okay, paleontology. This one says, have you considered the fossil graveyards around the world? Countless billions of animals and plant fossils are found in extensive graveyards. Here are a few examples. Billions of fossilized squid-like marine creatures called, nautiloids, stretch for 180 miles across northern Arizona and into Nevada. Most are pointed in the same flow direction. Here's another one. Hundreds of thousands of marine creatures are buried with amphibians, spiders, scorpions, and reptiles in a fossil graveyard at Montesquieu-les-Mines in France. Here's another one. More than 100,000 fossils representing 400 species have been recovered from a shell layer in Mazon Creek area near Chicago. Oh wow, isn't that cool, Chicago? These include ferns, insects, scorpions, jellyfish, mollusks, and fish. Here's another one. The Green River Formation of Wyoming contains alligators, fish, birds, turtles, mammals, insects, and palm leaves. All over the world, we find vast deposits filled with billions of dead plants and animals that were buried rapidly, and fossilized in sand. Fossilized in sand, mud, and lime. Many show exquisite details such as fish with fins and eye sockets intact. One fossil shows a fish caught in the act of eating another fish. I remember seeing that. A female ichthyosaur, a marine reptile, was fossilized at the moment of giving birth to her baby. Wow. Many times sea creatures are buried right along with land animals. What evidence would you expect for a worldwide flood? There would be billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the world. And that is exactly what we find within the hundreds of fossil graveyards all over the world. So here's your scripture. They did eat, they did drink, they did marry wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Luke 17:27. Very cool. I knew about the one eating. They found that one. I didn't know they found one giving birth. That's pretty crazy, right? That means that it happened like almost instantly, right? Almost instantly that took place. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Here we go. Where did I leave off? I left up here. It jumped. So where did I leave off at? June 21st, right here. And that was for Hollis and Rachel. That was nice. Thank you. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoy it. I really hope you enjoy it because it's really awesome. And again, if you do homeschooling, this is a great thing that you could do with your kids to help reinforce creation, especially if you've had to pull them from the public school. Because the public school has gotten way away from teaching creation. They are teaching evolution, so much so that the reason that they teach evolution is to remove your accountability. So that this lawlessness that we were talking about, remember we were talking about the lawlessness and how it's coming about, and that's one of the things that will abound. In order to increase lawlessness, you have to remove people's accountability that you are accountable for your actions. So if you teach them that they came from monkeys or apes or whatever you wanted, the evolutionary thing, you're teaching them that they came from an animal and they have no accountability. You could do what you want. You can live how you want and do what you want, and it doesn't matter. It does matter. Every choice matters. Every choice matters. And every choice is accountable. Okay, what was the next one? I'm getting on a roll. I'm getting on a roll. Not scolding. I sometimes I feel like I'm scolding. I'm not scolding. A lot of times it comes from a place of frustration because I'm like, people are like, come on, like they're don't remove this stuff. The children need to know this stuff. Otherwise they grow up thinking that, it doesn't matter what they do. Okay. Good morning, Love Hollis. Good morning, Rachel. Stitches says, I don't think so. I think that was to what I had already read. Nini, good morning. My mom, aunt, daughter, mine are June 1st, a week apart. Oh, wow. A week apart. June 1st. Did I read June 1st? Let's check it out. No, we didn't read June 1st. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to leave that on the screen so I know where I left off, okay? It's kind of like my bookmark. I hope that doesn't bother you guys if I leave the bubble up there. Okay. I just have to not leave the bubble when I'm doing auction. I have to remember that. Okay. I feel like I got... Okay. Here we go. I think my eyes were weeping. Okay. June 1st is inspired by biology. And you have a picture. Biology. Okay. The polar bear has amazing fur. A number of years ago, researchers needed to determine how many polar bears lived in the Arctic. Scientists flew over the region using an infrared detection system to count the number of bears. Surprisingly, none were found. How could this be? They knew polar bears were down there, but why were they not detected? Nature had smarted them out. Nature had outsmarted the scientists. Infrared detectors work by detecting heat, which is radiating from the body. It was discovered that polar bears were so well insulated that they experienced almost no heat loss through their fur. Therefore, they could not be detected by the infrared instruments. Each hair on the bear is hollow and filled with gas molecules. Molecules. This slows the flow of heat as it escapes the bear's body. I'm all tongue-tied now. The Arctic region is bitterly cold at night, so the master designer had to design a fur coat that would truly withstand the brutal temperatures. Polar bear fur is unlike the fur of any other bear. Polar bears need this special fur in order to survive. It's like bears are covered with an extremely efficient insulated blanket, like being wrapped in a thick layer of flexible styrofoam. Styrofoam is the result of brilliant research and development efforts. Did polar bear fur just happen by chance? Just as styrofoam was designed, so was polar bear fur. P.S. Scientists were ultimately successful in counting the polar bears, but they had to switch to ultraviolet sensors. Here's your scripture. Every creature which is in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and such are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb forever and ever. Revelation 5:13. Every creature praises the Lord. Okay. Rachel the best. Okay. That's awesome. Whoop whoop. So many June birthdays. My kids are June 1st and June 21st, right? Right? And that was June 1st. I have a sister and relatives in June. Family in February. Good morning. Hi, Puda Bear. It's okay, girl. It's okay. You're never too late. You're going to hear what you're supposed to hear. I want a kiss. I'll cover the camera with the book. Love you, babe. All right. I can't leave without that. Yes, Pearlini, yes. The answer is yes. I will be on at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m., my channel. Yes. Right? Isn't it awesome? It's awesome. It's awesome. Exactly. The Bible's... Did you know in the schools back in the day, like Little House on the Prairie days, right? Little House on the Prairie is pretty accurate as to like how life was back then. They would read the Bible in school. In school. And the children were, yeah, I'm not saying children were perfect, because of course they're not perfect, but they weren't off running doing the things they're doing now. And then when they were confronted and scolded, the word was used to do that. And so it was like they understood why it was wrong to do the things that they were doing. You know, like they had that, because truth doesn't change. When you're correcting with God's word, it doesn't change. It's always the same. It's not like a little sliding scale or a curve that you're grading on. No, this is what it is. This is wrong and this is why it's wrong. It's not I guess you could do it sometimes, or you only did a little bit. No, it doesn't change. You read us June 22nd. It is June 21st. What? You read us June 22nd. I read June 21st. No, I read June 21st. I read June 21st, this side. See the date? June 21st. Yes. Yeah, so I did get June 21st. Right? That's what it is. That's where it's gone. It's gone out the window. There's no accountability. I did notice that, Yvette. I seen it. I remember that's what you call your little one, Puda Bear. I like it. I think it's very cute. And it fits you too, girl. It fits you too. Perlini says, good morning, Yvette. See, she knows who you are, girl. They know who you are. They got their eye on you. No, mine are 1 week apart in June. Got it. Good morning, Perlini. Thank you for reading mine. I think I got a call the other day. Oh, okay. I just thought maybe you were like wanting to write some stuff down from it. Either way, it works out perfectly. Rachel Strickland says, it's so important we don't rely on the schools to teach our children what we should be teaching. I agree. We are blessed and our kids go to public school and they pray. Awesome. Their choir sings hymns and we are blessed. That is awesome. Yes, a good portion, and I'm not pointing fingers. It's just a statement. It's a true statement, but it's just a statement. Parents have become very lazy at teaching their own children. And that has come down through society. And it started back in the 40s and 50s. When you remember when we went to war and the men were all at war and the women had to leave the home and go work in the factories to help make all of the components that were needed for the ships and the ammo and everything. I met a woman. She was a friend of mine. She used to weld. Check this out. You know the big, I'm talking, they're huge. I can't even open my arms as big as they are. The big openings on the ship where the chains go down for the anchors on the big ships. I'm talking, they're huge. I can't even make my arm as big as the chain is, right? She used to weld those openings where the chains would be raised and lowered, those big holes. So back in those days, the women had to leave the home to go work. And so that's how everything came up, that, your kids are going to go to school and we're going to teach your kids and all this stuff. So when that opportunity arose, the people that have bad intentions, because that's who's in charge, the people that have bad intentions of corrupting the minds Okay? Go back in history to all the different things that have occurred to humanity. It's people with bad minds wanting to control or manipulate the way people think to keep them under control and act the way they want them to act. So you know this with Hitler and all that. They did experiments. They know how to break people. All that stuff was brought over here and incorporated here. It still goes on. I know a lot of people like to walk around like this. It still goes on. So they incorporated it into our school systems to try to remove certain things that the kids are being taught and to incorporate other things that they want them taught. Okay? To dumb them down so they don't question authority, right? What do you have going on right now? Don't question authority, just go do what you want. And in doing so, lawlessness occurs. So it's all this stuff degrading society and making man not think for themselves because you need to think for yourself. And that's what's happening in a lot of the schools. I think it's awesome if you have a great school because there's still a few of them out there. But parents have taken their hands off of that. It was really hard for people to homeschool their kids when we were shut down. It was a really hard thing. And they opened up the whole Zoom thing and basically made it to where parents still weren't doing it. You could just sit your kid in front of the device. If you didn't have one, they'd give you one and allow them to still school your children. And they suffered. Look back at your kids' development in that last year. A lot of them really suffered and now they're struggling. I know my grandbabies were at grade level prior, like really efficient readers and things, and that year stunted their learning. 1025, did we already read this date? Let me check. 1025. 1025. Yeah, we did. I remember I read yours and your mama's the same day. Yes. It was when they said that they I'll read it again. Yours is inspired by microbiology. The news media often promotes evolutionary discoveries in a way that can be best called exaggerations, but in reality are simply deceptive. An example is the 2010 announcement that science had succeeded in producing life in a lab from non-living chemicals. This was typical of media's spin on research. Dr. Craig Ventnor and his team have built the genome of a bacterium from scratch and incorporated it into a cell to make what they call the world's first synthetic life form. You have to study the actual research to learn that the single-celled organism they produced was neither made from scratch nor synthetic. First, they used DNA from a living cell as a template. Second, they used yeast cells to bring DNA fragments together because human science produces DNA fragments 100,000 times smaller than needed for life. Third, they used a living cell to proofread the resulting DNA and correct errors. Fourth, the DNA was useless until placed inside another living cell with the thousand of other chemicals and processes needed to keep it alive. In the end, they had to rely on 3 different living single-celled organisms in order to produce their synthetic from scratch life form. What was proven, once again, was that the theoretical law of abiogenesis is not valid. That theory says that life can arise spontaneously from non-life molecules under proper conditions. In reality, life only comes from pre-existing life. And here's your scripture, Matthew 19:4. He answered and said to them, have you not read that he who made them at the beginning made them male and female? That was yours, Athena. Myself and my mom, my grandmother, several cousins, my son-in-law and granddaughter-in-law all have birthdays in June. Wow. It's really not the school's responsibility to teach our kids religion. It's your parents. Family responsibility. As a parent, you're accountable for your children. Correct. Same thing goes with education. People handed their children over to the schools because it made them freer to do other things. And it started all back when the women left the house to work. Can't wait to tell my kids about the polar bears, right? Isn't it awesome? That's awesome. They reward too much for everything in school. Maybe that's not a bad thing in some cases. I don't understand that one. Let's see. Pelony says, wow, for all your birthdays. It's become easier to blame someone else for not teaching our kids they are home more than at school. Right? Yeah, I've been reading the bedtime Bible stories I purchased from you. To the girls. We are in the story of Ishmael. Ooh, that is awesome. That is awesome, Athena. Aw, God is so good to give us wisdom. Exactly. He will not leave us ignorant. He will not. Especially if we're seeking. He will not. I think it's hard for the public school to teach it because of diversity. The children come from different background and ethnic beliefs. The schools have come a long way with diversity accepting students. Yeah. You know what it is? They separated it to remove it. It wasn't so much about different belief systems. That comes from people. That comes from people wanting to divide. You're welcome, Athena. You're welcome. I want everybody to hear their special day. You know, that's a special day. So it's like making a cake from scratch and getting the ingredients from Dunkin'. Exactly, Rachel. Exactly. Because you opened the package, put it in the bowl, mixed it, and made it go from dry to wet. All of a sudden, you created from scratch. No, that's pretty much not how it works. My daughter disciplines her girls, has a friend whose daughter looks at her funny, like, what or why are you telling the girls what to do? Because their mom doesn't discipline her. Oh, you got some free-range friends. They think their children should free-range parenting, where they get to choose for themselves, and they try to just be their friend. We're not called to be our kids' friends, guys. We're called to be their parents. I don't deal with the schools. They can't even dress up for Halloween or have parties. They're ridiculous. Yeah, they removed a lot of the social. They're removing stuff. I told you. Why do you think a lot of the kids come home and say, no, we're not supposed to be doing that? Like getting together and celebrating holidays or getting together as family. It's because what they're trying to drill into their heads at school. They're trying to remove everything, guys. I'm trying to tell you, schools aren't like they used to be at all. No, they are not. No, they are not. Pony says, good morning. Good morning, Rose. I feel like we live in the sweetest bubble. Our kids do all things so many schools can't. Yeah, and that's going to go back to your who's ever in charge in your district. It's going to go back to that because that person's taking a stand to keep that goodness there. Yeah, to keep that goodness there. Everyone joining us now. Yes, welcome. If you're here, good morning. We have parties, dress up, pray. They literally sing hymns at their choir concerts. That is awesome. That is so awesome. That is really cool, Rachel. Yeah, we had I remember we had it when I was in school. We had certain events, and but I remember even when I was in school, there was so much that was already being removed. Already so much that was being removed. And they try to just make it to where that's the norm. That's the norm. And when you're not in that norm, you're the weird one. So you get pushed out. Let's see. Where did I leave off on? The choir director. The choir director said when she can no longer do that, she's gone. See? She's taken a stand. That is awesome. That is awesome. Her mom treats her like a friend. She's only... Yep, there you go. there you go. Do you know, I'm going to read it because I'm not just going to tell you. I'm not just going to tell you. I'm going to read it. Where is I should have my phone. Psalms, Proverbs. It's in Proverbs. Again, it's this is not mine, so it might take me a minute. But the scripture I'm looking for talks about, one, you train up a child in the way they should go. When they're old, they will not depart. That's one of them. The other one is, if you don't discipline your child, you hate your child. You hate your child. Basically, you could care less. So, you don't do it, which means you hate them. When you love them, you want to correct them. You want to give them good advice. You want to show them the right direction. Okay, here's one about the children. I don't think that's the right one. Hold on, did I skip it? Darn, I hate when I need my Bible. Maybe one of you knows where it's at. Maybe one of you guys know where it's at. Or you can Google it. I can Google it. Let's see if I can pull up another window without messing everything up. And then Google it. I don't know. So it would be, right here. I think this is it. Okay, let's see what this one says. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, just as a father the son in whom he delights. Okay, I need more of that. Let me see. Chapter 3. Where did it go? So it says, my son, do not reject the discipline of the Lord, and do not loathe his rebuke, for the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and does a father the son whom he delights. That's not the same one, but it's fair. You get the idea. That wasn't the one. I know it when I see it. But yeah, it talks about you're not gonna the person that gives discipline to the son or the children, it's because you love them. If you don't, it's like you despise your own child. Yep. And you have to remember what? Hold on a second. Good morning, Patrick. I didn't see Patrick, but somebody saw Patrick. So good morning, Patrick. Nancy says hello, Rachel. I used the teacher's bathroom in there the other day, and there are scriptures and prayers posted on the walls in there for the. See, that is awesome. That is awesome. That needs to spread. That would be awesome if it could spread. Prony says, hi, Nancy. Rachel says, hi, Nancy. Balance with children. You can be a friend to a certain degree. What the world calls a friend, but we're to give them, we're supposed to be approachable by them, if that's what you're referring to, like a friend. We're supposed to be approachable to them. We're supposed to spend time with them, loving them, nurturing them, so that they can talk to us, and they have that comfort zone to talk to us. I do agree with that portion, but we weren't made to be our kids' friends. We were made to be their parents. A lot of times when parents are trying to be their kids' friends, it's because they're lacking and they need that relationship. And then they put it on their children to fulfill that part of their need. But we're called to be parents. We're not called to be friends. Anyways, I'm not disagreeing with that, just to what extent. And that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I go off what I believe. Um, where do we go? Sparing the rod means the rod of discipline, because that was the way to redirect sheep. They weren't hit with it. Right. They were nudged with it. Yes. Yeah. It's not about, I agree. It's not about, like abusing your kids. I'm not saying that, I never spanked my child, because I did spank my child. When they earned a spanking, they got a spanking. But I didn't spank my child just because I was angry at them or mad at them. That's a wrong way to discipline for sure. But, yes, the rod and the staff was to get the sheep back in line. Correct. Yep. It's our responsibility as parents to teach our children to be good humans. Their brains are sponges. They soak up everything, good and bad. I agree. Because we have to help them form that, a good conscience. I didn't spank my kids, but taught them right from wrong. And some kids don't have. Every child is different. Some work with rewards. Some work with penalties. Some work with, you know, every child is different. And I think discipline has to go. It has to be flexible to go different directions for your children, as long as it is discipline and correction. Does that make sense? Like one girl, we could not get her to get good grades in school for nothing. My husband tried to bribe her with $40 for a C, and the girl that brought home A's got $10 per A. Tell me the logic in that, right? And it didn't work. Rewards did not work for her. Totally what worked for her was to tell her, well, I guess if you don't care about your grades, then I'm not going to care about your grades. That's what woke her up. I was like, I'm done. I go to the school. You don't do your work. What am I going to do? I can't beat you to do your homework. I can't sit there with you and beat you and make you do your homework. You can't do that. You can't do that, right? So what can you do? I mean, you're the one that has to physically write the answers and turn it in. So I guess if you don't care about your life, then I need to stop worrying about it, because I'm just knocking my head against a wall. When I told her that, we were in the car. I like to have heavy conversations in the car because they can't leave. Otherwise, they storm off and shut their door, right? And then I want to kick a door down. Don't shut the door when I'm talking to you. So in the car, they can't leave. So that's a great place to have discussions. So I told her, I said, well, I guess if you don't care, I don't care. There's no point in me caring so much about it when you don't care, because I'm just getting upset at it. So school calls, I'm telling, well, I don't care because you don't care. So, and her eyes got all big and she looked at me, she goes, so you don't care about me? I said, I didn't say that. I said, if you don't care about what you're doing in school, why should I care about it? Why should I care? I can't make you do the work. That girl, her grades didn't come up. But as soon as she left home, she finished school. Weirdest thing. She was just headstrong. But that one snapped her out of it. Like it kind of like got her attention. I was like, if you don't care, I don't care. I mean, what good has it done? You only have a little bit of time left to finish your school, and you don't want to finish it. So, but she went back and she got her diploma. I was very proud of her for doing that because she did it on her own. Where did I leave off at, guys? I didn't highlight the comment. I think this is where I left off. I get my nephews every other week. I have rules and discipline those two girls. I won't take the disrespect of the 7 and 5. Yeah, I'm the same way with my grandbabies. They're not disrespectful, but they know what happens at Nana's house is like different than at Mom's house. Like, we have a lot of fun, but you don't get to do certain things here that you do at home. You do that at home. We don't do that here. If that's what you do at home, okay, but we don't do that here. And so they know the difference. They know what they're allowed to do at Nana's house, and what they're not allowed to do at Nana's house. Yep. And you know what? Yes, they really love us when they discipline us. Yes. And you know what? They love coming over here. They love having the rules. They do. They know that they know what to expect. And then they just enjoy themselves. I watch my nephew's stepchildren and I discipline them too. My nephew and his wife never do. Yeah. There's times where I will correct my grandbabies in front of their mom and she'll kind of look at me and I'll be like, you can always leave. You can always go home. But they already know that they're not allowed to do this. And when you show up, they think they're going to start doing this. It's like, no, they're not going to do this. And if that's how you want to do that, it's time to go home. Yeah. I just kissed my son, Israel's sweet little chubby cheeks, and tell him that's my best buddy. Aww. My husband is my best friend, but I sub these little guys so much. I get you. It takes a village. You don't have to be blood to be a parent, right? Right? Kids shouldn't live in fear of their parents, what I'm saying. I agree. Yes. I agree, Prolini. Yeah. Not that, yeah, they shouldn't be like fearful in a scared way, but a fearful reverent, like to not disappoint, or as far as like doing something bad. I'm not talking about measuring up. I'm talking about doing bad. Because again, there's that whole, you can go one way or the other with that. To not disappoint in a way of doing bad things. They don't want to be disapproved of because what they did was bad. You know what I mean? Versus measuring up. Like, well, you could have done better than that. That's not nice. I totally agree. Hi, full-time reseller. Welcome. Parenting discussions. That's where we ended up today. Chubby cheeks. My daughter had chubby cheeks. My favorite thing about the kids? Their thighs. Oh, I loved the thighs. I called them little hams. Little hams. The little chunky thighs were like little hams. I just wanted to like go like this to them. Grandbabies have to have, yes. Mine all do. They're all awesome. He smells so good, right? Yeah, they do. Babies smell awesome. Yeah, so society too. Society has made it to where parents are fearful to give their children correction because they've overstepped. They've overstepped into the family unit. Yes, I love thighs. I love their little thighs. I just think it's so cute. Like when they first learn to stand up and they got these chunky little thighs. Like, why isn't that cute on me? Right? Like, it's so cute on them. Why isn't it cute on me? He's 15? Yeah. The body chemistry. You're smelling their body chemistry. Some people just have a really nice body chemistry. Yep. It's cute on you? Oh, goodness, girl. I appreciate your compliment, but when you get a certain age, you start to feel like the mirrors and the scales, and they're all in cahoots together, and they won't even tell you a lie for a minute. They're always trying to tell you the truth. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. So it has been really cool, guys, hanging out with you this morning. Hopefully, my opinions weren't too, how would you say, off-putting. Good morning, Madi. Good morning, and welcome. So, yeah. I think sometimes when I'm talking, a lot of it just comes from the, how would you say, the conviction and the mindset that I get from when I read my Bible. Again, I take it for what it is. I take it for black and white. I don't do gray. And so I think that's a lot of where I come from is that I don't do the gray. My kids will look at me sometimes. They're like, Mom, you could do a little of this. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. Because it's not okay. And so even my kids, there's times where even my kids will be like, Mom, you could do a little. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. And then they'll just be like, and it's because they want me to do what they're doing, or they want me to approve what they're talking about. And I'm like, nope, I'm not. You can choose that. I tell them all the time, you're free to choose whatever you want, but I am not. And then they're bummed out because I won't either do something with them or agree with them on something or whatever. But I'm not. I'm not. I take the scripture about salt and light. Salt and light. We are the salt of the earth. And if the salt loses its saltiness, what is it good for? It's only good to be trampled underfoot. So I want to always have that savor. And the purpose of salt is to preserve. And so I want to be one that it's preserved. And I stay in the black or the white, not in the gray. So again, everyone has the right. Yes, everyone does have a right to opinion. Everyone has the right to choose. Those were given to you by the Lord. Definitely. He gave you your own brains to think freely with them. Yes. You don't have to be sorry, Sally. You don't have to be sorry. You can ask any question you want, as long as it's not dirty. You can ask any question you want. So yes, I will be on today, 10 o'clock right here. So in 2 hours, just under 2 hours, I will be hosting auction here on my channel. And I have some people coming. Dee will be here from Denise's Creative Creations by Denise. She will be here. Leslie from Leslie's Lucky Finds. She will be here. I didn't see Leslie here this morning. I hope she's got her mornings going out okay for her. More than likely, she's getting ready for this morning. And then, and Bobby. Bobby's probably helping her. What else did I say? Oh, and then also Kim from Adopted Retrospects. So they will all be here too. I believe so, Stitch It. I believe it's 12 o'clock your time. So I'm Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then as we move across the states, it's going to go an hour, right? So as you move from California to New York, it would be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Good morning, Joe. Yeah, so I come on at 7 a.m. in the morning. I can't be late because StreamYard and Facebook have this commitment that you can't be late. So I come on at 7 a.m. every morning. I try to stay on an hour. Sometimes that's not very hard at all. I can go an hour and a half. But yes, one here. Yes, Love Hollis is 1 o'clock on the eastern side. So yes, 1 p.m. So yeah, you'll get to see a variety of things. I do know that Dee said, I call her Dee because that's what I met her as, and it just sticks for me. Denise from Creative Creations, she said she's bringing something really cool. So I hope you guys are excited to see that. I love her quilts. I think her quilting is beautiful. So I don't know what she's bringing. I don't know if she's bringing anything like that or if she's got something else special, but she threw it out there that she's bringing something. 12 for you, Constance. What time zone are you in? I need to write this down. Time zone. Because we have different time zones. So we have Pacific. Come on, Pin. We have Pacific Standard Time. And then we have Eastern Standard Time. And then there's like Central, right? Central Standard Time. Is there any other ones? We have 3 time zones or do we have 4? I guess I should look that up. So for my time zone, it's 10 a.m. For the East Coast, it's 1 p.m. And then Central that's like in the middle, right? Mountain. So there's 4 time zones. Mountain time too. Okay, so I think does it go Pacific, Central, Mountain, Eastern? I'm gonna have to look it up. So I would assume that is, please share the link. The link for the live? Girl, you're testing my skills. Hold on. I ain't got those kind of skills yet. I'm still trying to work on that skill. I'm working on it. Let me see. Even my link. Lindsay's like, I'm going to copy and paste your link. You just have to copy it and paste it. I say, girl, when I'm on my device, that is hard. When I'm on the computer, it's a little easier. But when I'm on my device, oh my gosh, I struggle. Okay, so today is Friday, right? Today's Friday. Make sure I get this right. And where are we? It's scheduled for, is this the one? Make sure I get the right one, guys. March 4th. This one. And this one. Oops. That's not what I wanted. Copy. Okay, you guys can tell me if it works or not, because I don't know if it works. Pacific Mountain. Ooh, I like that. Okay, so here is the thumbnail link. And that will pop up on both sides. That will pop up on the Facebook side and the YouTube side. So you can see it right here. This is the link. And that will take you straight to the actual thumbnail, which is the channel, which will pop up live. So if you click set reminder on that, it will give you a reminder. If you go there specifically, it will give you a reminder for that live specifically. You haven't been getting all your notifications. You know what? I was telling Lindsay about that. I don't get them all either. I don't know. Not for mine. Mine always pop up for mine. But for other channels that I've subbed to, and I have clicked all. But like she'll be like, so-and-so is live. And I'm like, I don't even see them on my feed. Like I'll look for, the live button where you can pull them all up. It doesn't even come up. And I have subscribed. I don't get it. Okay, there was something I was doing. It worked. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Yes, it worked. And I have the reminder. Thank you. Perfect. I was saying something else though. What was I saying? Oh, the time zones. I seen it. That's what it was. Constance, Louisiana. I know, that is awesome to me, guys. Mountain time too. Yes, 4. Please share the link. 10 a.m. now. And you have Arizona on their own thing, and that weird part of Indiana that don't do daylight savings either. Oh, gotcha, guys. 11:14 in Tennessee. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you're 3 hours ahead. Okay, there it is. Sally put it right here. That's what I wanted right there. So it goes Pacific Mountain. Okay, so this would be 11 a.m. and this would be 12 p.m. Okay, so this is how it would work. So I will be live today at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll get it. I'll get a little chart worked up. Cookville, Nancy. My husband's from Cookville, Nancy. Sorry, that's okay. I probably have it saved in other. Okay. It worked. Okay. YouTube is technology, doesn't always work. Right. That's the order, left to right. Perfect. Me and my sis Lisa will be there. Whoop, whoop. Yay. I hope you guys enjoy it. Trying to bring a little bit of fun. Not just straight sail, but a little bit of fun, some personality. Hope you get some giggles. You're able to interact. I hope you guys do utilize the chat and the comments. Just so everybody knows, if you're listening on the Facebook side, auctions are only on YouTube. And the reason for that is because that's the only way to facilitate the bids. So if you hop over from Facebook side, you are very welcome to come on. And we'll school you. We will teach you how to do it. It's not hard to learn. but you would be bidding on items versus claiming items. Now, there is times where you can do what's called a buy it now, and then that would be like when you're claiming an item. So there is different opportunities in that for you as well. So if you want to check it out, come check it out. You want to just hang out in the chat and just listen and watch and see what's what and get a feel for the people that are there. Each one of them collects their own information, so keep that in mind. You would have to fill out information for each one. Usually it's pretty easy. Some of them you just send them an email, just an email. It says, this is me, this is my info, and then you just move from there. A few other people have different forms, kind of like what I have with the postable. They have what's called a jot form, and so you would just fill it out. So just keep that in mind if you do decide you want to come over and check it out, or if you're here and you're listening now and you haven't filled out information for the people that will be on the channel. I do tell you, you do need to do that with each individual. I will not share your contact information. I will not. I put my foot down on that. I didn't do it before, and when I got here, it kind of seemed like that was what was going on, and I'm not going to be part of that. That's just where I come from, my work background. I'm not going to share nobody's information. Okay? So your stuff stays with me, sticks with me. That's it. The most anybody will get from me is a name, and that's it. You'll get a name, that's it. And so you will not get no email, you will not get no addresses from me. So, yep. It's like in a safety deposit box, guys. Only I have the key. Yes. When you're here, so the way that the bin numbers work, just so you know, because Nancy's talking about the bin numbers. The way that the bin numbers work is on Mondays and Wednesdays, I do use my bin numbers. And that's because those are claimants. Those are like buy it nows. So I do use my bin numbers for that. Everybody from the Facebook side, for the most part, they all already have had bin numbers probably for a couple years. But as far as like from the YouTube side coming over or participating in that, you would have a bin number. As soon as I have your contact information, I automatically assign you a bin number. So like if you're claiming on the auction today and you're new to me, when I have your information, I'm going to assign you a bin number in case you come up on my Monday and Wednesdays. So then you would already have a bin number. If you're new on Monday and Wednesday, I would give you a bin number at that time. Yes. But thank you for that, for pointing out the bin numbers. Yes. But on auction, no bin numbers, because that will mess all the other people up. I just do straight auction the way auction occurs. Yeah. Yes. Most important, have a blast. I agree, Nancy. Have a blast. Like when you go out shopping with your friends, look at it like that. Like you're out shopping with your friends. Yep. Headed to the post office and then Meals on Wheels. Whoop, whoop. Good job, Rachel. I hope you have a beautiful day. And I hope you're filled as you're pouring out. Yes. Have to go. Have a good day, Constance says. Mr. Picky. Hello, Mr. Picky. Welcome, welcome. I'm just getting ready to head out. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Before you guys leave, don't forget to share scripture with somebody. Most important, share scripture with somebody. Blast on Mondays and Wednesdays sales. We had a lot of fun. I'm glad, Nancy. I hope you guys enjoy it. I do. Mr. Picky says, good morning, Pearl Nini. And Nancy gives you lots of hearts, Pearl Nini. And Pearl Nini says, hi, Mr. Picky. Alrighty, guys. So I have to get off here because, again, I have to get ready myself. So I enjoyed having you guys in today. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you're able to come back on Monday because today is Friday. So hopefully you had a little bit of a filling, help carry you over until Monday. Don't forget to read on your own because that's very important. But if you're just developing your habits of just being regular, then I hope to see you on Monday. Again, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you can check it out. So until Monday, have a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend. Spend lots of time with your loved ones, and I will see you Monday. Bye, guys.